Today we're checking out the Freedom Offroad 2-inch rear lift springs for the 2009 and newer Ram 1500 without air ride and excluding the RHO and TRX. If you want to give the rear of your truck a little more height and stronger overall stance without giving up the ride quality, this is a really practical suspension option. This is the type of part that helps the truck look a lot more impressive while also adding some useful capability at the same time. These rear lift springs are designed to provide 2 inches of rear lift, and that's a big deal for somebody who wants more ground clearance, a more commanding road presence, and improved off-road capabilities. That extra rear height can help the truck look a lot more balanced and more aggressive, especially if it's part of a larger suspension or tire setup. These springs are built to maintain a balance between lift and ride quality, which is very important because most people do not want a harsher truck just to get a little bit more height. And that makes them a strong fit for somebody who wants a rear suspension upgrade that improves stance and capabilities, but still keeps the truck comfortable enough for daily driving. These also have a lifetime structural warranty, and that's another great feature because it adds confidence for somebody making a bigger suspension investment than just a simple spacer or a quick cosmetic mod. When it comes to the construction on these, you are getting a rear lift spring crafted from heavy-duty material with a slick black finish. These are going to be built for durability and consistent performance even in tough conditions. The black finish also adds a little extra protection against rust and corrosion, which is a nice bonus for a suspension part that's going to be living underneath the truck that's going to see everything out there on the road from road grime to winter salt conditions. Now, as far as the pricing goes on these, they're coming in right in that upper $100 price range. That is a strong value in my opinion for a pair of rear lift springs because you're getting a real suspension height change and not just a quick visual tweak. It makes a lot of sense for somebody who wants more rear lift and better capability without stepping up into a much bigger full lift price tag. When it comes to the install on this one, it's going to be rated a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. You can have this done in about 3 hours of your time. Now let's see exactly how this install process goes with a quick video from one of our AmericanTrucks customers.
All right, hey everybody. Today we're doing the Freedom Offroad 2-inch lift rear springs on a Ram 1500. The tools you'll need are an impact, a 21 millimeter wrench, a 15 millimeter impact socket, 21 millimeter impact socket, a pick. I used my little mini impact here with an 8 millimeter to get the fender liner bolts off. 3/4 inch for your 3/4 inch ratcheting end wrench for your spring compressors. I rented these from O'Reilly's, so you can buy them online too. They're about 50 bucks, but renting them you get a $50 deposit, and then you can get your money back as soon as you return them. You'll need a 1/2 inch torque wrench and a regular 1/2 inch ratchet, and that's about it. All right, first I'm going to measure my rear to see where I end up after I'm done. So I've already measured this before, but I am right at 41 inches, just right at 41. So that is what I'm going to try and hopefully be at with these springs, but we'll see. All right, so since I have the wheel well liners, I'm going to pull those. That is my first step now, so I can see what I'm doing up in there, and then I'll start taking off the other parts. So we'll get these off and then go on from there. Now to get the wheel well liner out. So I'm just gonna work it out from one side through the other basically. It's kind of pretty flexible. And just kind of work it out. Same way I'll put it back in, just work it back in. Boom, done and done. All right, your truck may be different. Mine is a 15 millimeter. I'm gonna take off the sway bar bracket. Now I can lower the axles up and down. I'll also be taking off the shock mounts after that, but we'll start with sway bar bracket. Let's see. This will allow movement up and down so we're getting my springs in. And now we'll go over and do the other side. All right, next I'm gonna take off my shock. So I'm gonna use my 21 millimeter with my impacts, you can also use a ratchet on this. I just like the impacts faster with the 21mm wrench. All right, cool. That is it. All right, now I'm gonna lower my axle down to get my springs out. I'm gonna wrestle them. I'm gonna do it slowly. And they look okay. Just gonna check them real quick. So you don't want a lot of, you wanna make sure you're not over taxing your brake lines. Seems good. Okay. All right, so I've got some spring compressors because I do have a 2-inch lift block under the rear. So anyways, I've got the top part on here. So we'll pop that on there. Try and place it around here. And I'll just start. Put the tension on it. There we go. I could switch down, but it's fine. Nothing scary about this. Now let's see if I can just. And a ratcheting wrench is crucial. So you'll need an 18mm. So I got a ratcheting wrench. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm just gonna tighten these a little at a time. And you try and get them even as you go. Well, you don't try. You do get them even as you go. You just gotta take your time. We're getting a little snugger. See if we can wrestle them out. Oh yeah. Aha. Ta-da! Did I keep it here? Release these, you want to do the same thing, a little at a time each side. There we go. Whew. 2 inches left, that'll keep my nice ride rear height. They're nice and beefy feeling. I think it'll be easier to compress from here. Let's see. Put them on by hand and that will start them. Alrighty. All right, so now I'm doing the other side. I'm just gonna line it up and I'm going to just, lengthen this a little bit. It's apparently a little short. And you wanna adjust your top. Start with one side and then I'll do the other side. So you should be able to compress it by hand. Might lift a little bit from the bottom if need be too. There's that side started. And I'll make sure it's kind of as equal as I can get them, straight across. Oop, there we go. All right, let's see, we got them compressed enough. There we go. I just push down a little on the axle. Make sure it's seated on my spring cup. Let's try and hold here. If it breaks, it'll be fine. These are very hard steel, so it's good. A little at a time each side. Anyways, once you get this loose, all right, there's one. Ta-da! And repeat on the other side, and it'll button her back up and put the wheels back on and call it good.
Okay, we have both springs on, so now we're going to I'm going to jack up the rear end a little bit while he gets it.
Well, I line up the shocks. It's best to have a helper during this. All right, right there. Ta-da! And that is on. I'll tighten this one up, then I'll go do the other side. This cranks at 50 foot-pounds on the lowest automatic settings. So, all right, now to get to the other side. I'll do this side. And there we go. Next, we'll reinstall our sway bar. Here we go. So you just kind of push it up. Truck's already, it's still weight on the jack stand still, makes it safer. There we go. So once they're started by hand, you can impact them in. There we go. Now to do the other side. You can start putting this through. Line this up here. I'll go ahead and turn them in as far as I can get them here. There, you just want to push on the sway bar a little bit. I find this easier than taking off the actual sway bar links here. Next, we will install our tires and get her off the jack stand. All right, next step is reinstall your fender liner the same way it came out approximately. I start on one side and I work through the other side. Ow, I recommend leather gloves. Not required, but definitely helpful. So I'm gonna grab it and wiggle it around as you need to line up your holes. So I get some in pretty far and some not so far. Oop. You can start wherever you can get them lined up and just work your way around. That one's good now. There we go. All right.
There's 2 left.
Oh, okay, there we go. Line up that hole, please. Otherwise, there's no empty space behind it. Nice, good snug start. There we go, by hand, so as not to strip them. And I will check all these later. There we go.
Well, that's going to wrap up our review and install of the Freedom Offroad 2-inch rear lift springs for the 2009 and newer Ram 1500 without air ride, excluding the RHO and the TRX. And for all things trucks, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.